try and plot some data in GIS. So this might be the screen that you arrive at when you go into map. This is the old version. We're going to move to the new version now because I believe that this will be retired soon. So in the top right, it says Open in Map Viewer. So I'm going to click on that and you'll get the slightly darker version that's got sort of a black background when it loads up. So try and do your stuff in the newer version now that looks like this. Okay, you can change the base map. When I click on base map, it gives me some options, and I'm going to go for imagery, which is like a satellite image, something you'd see on sort of Google Maps or whatnot. But you can faff around with the base map. Now I've got some data. I've got some geography data. I collected temperature, humidity, wind speed, etc. from a microclimate study. I got my lat and long just from Google Maps. You can retrospectively click where you think you were, or you can use an app on your phone. Gridpoint GB, I think, is a good one, and you can actually take a screenshot of a lat and long as you go to that place. I did 2 transects, and I've numbered my sites as well, but these could be place names, you know, forest, car park, playground, footpath, geography block, whatever. But importantly, I'm going to save my file as a comma separated value file, a CSV file, not an Excel file. Okay, so just make sure you do save as CSV. So that's my data that I'm going to try and import into ArcGIS. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer. So in the top left, I just click on layer. Let me try that again. I'm going to click on layer, and it's the drop down box at the side, not the add button, but the drop down box. And I'm going to select add layer from file, my device, and then it'll give me a nice choice. And this is my fieldwork data. So I'm just going to find that CSV file. I'm going to go next. It just checks my data is appropriate. This is quite a good place to check whether the numbers are numbers and the text is text. So the text comes up as string sometimes. So if ever you have numbers that don't work, check they're actually entered as integers or double rather than string. Okay. So I'm going to go next. It's just checking which is my lat and long. Make sure you get those the right way round. And it has done, yes. And I'm going to put a name in here. I'm going to call this 2025. And I'm going to create and add this to my map. So then it'll take a few seconds. And then we'll add the data to the ArcGIS base map that I've picked. And this all depends on the speed of your computer, your network, how much data you're trying to add, but it's only 15 seconds or so at most. So there we go. There's my data. And straight away, I know this is in the right place. This is the school I'm in. And I can see very clearly I've got 2 transects there in different parts of the school. But those dots don't really mean much at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Styles, the top right, and then I'm going to add an attribute. So that's a field. An attribute is like a variable or a metric, I guess. So if I click on field, all of the column headings from my CSV file now appear. Okay, so for example, if I was interested in plotting the temperature, I add the temperature, and then this will, ArcGIS will try and predict how I want to present the data. So it's actually gone for proportional circles. Okay, so I can click done. If I was happy with those proportional circles, I could leave it there. I can put on the left-hand side, I can put a legend on, just on the side, and that's pretty effective. But if I wanted to play around a little bit more, I can go into styles, and then I can go into style options. Okay, so the style it's on at the moment is count and amount, it's ticked. So I go into style options, and then I can play around with the color. So the symbol style, I can change it from a circle to a whole host of symbols there. I can change the fill color as well. So let's say I want some sort of greeny colors. That's a lot better. If I was showing carbon in trees, for example. And then the most important thing is to click done. I can also play around with the classification of the data. So at the moment I've got 5 different classes of data, and I can actually change that in here, or 4, sorry, I beg your pardon. If I wanted to have a few more, I could put 5 or 6, etc., etc., to show my data off. But I must click done when I've done that. Okay, perhaps green wasn't a good decision based on the amount of vegetation around the school. So that's one variable plotted. I've plotted temperature using proportional circles. Let's plot a second variable now at the same time. Plotting 3 variables isn't really worth doing because it just gets a bit complicated. So I would plot at most 2. So again, I'm going to pick styles, and I've already got temperature there, and I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to pick humidity. So maybe I think there's a correlation between humidity and temperature. ArcGIS is going to try and predict how I want to present it, and just close that. And it's actually chosen color and size. So as you can see from the legend, the key, temperature is shown by the color, and humidity is shown by the proportional circles. If I wanted to swap those round, all I do is I drag and drop the variables. It'll recalculate and it'll do it the other way round. So now temperature is represented by the size. And just as before, if I want to edit anything, I go into style options and I can edit the color at the top or the size below. So I can actually change the colors, and I can actually change the sizes of those circles if I wanted to. Using these sort of sliding bars here, I can make the minimum smaller, I can make the maximum larger or smaller as well, according to that. But importantly, again, I must click done when I've done that. Okay. I can then, on the left, I can then save. I can then take a screenshot if I wanted to. And I can also add some labels as well. But I think we'll do that in another video. So I've presented my data there for interrogation. Okay, hope that was useful. Thank you very much. Bye.